Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stuti series, continuing with Srila Sukadeva Goswami's glorification of Mahavishnu. We are in shloka number 14 of chapter 4, canto number 2. Namaste Stvarishabhaya Sattvatam.
Namo namaste Rishabhaya Sattvatam
Vidurakashthaya Muhukku Yoginam.
Vidurakashthaya Muhukku Yoginam
Rasta Samyatishaye Naradhasa.
Nirasta Samyatishaye Radhasa
Svadhamani Brahmani Ramsyate Namaha.
Swadhamani Brahmani Ramsyate Namaha.
Forward meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namaha Namahate.
Namaha Namahate.
Let me offer my obeisances unto you.
Let me offer my obeisances unto you.
Astu.
Astu.
Ar. Rishabhaya.
Rishabhaya.
Unto the great associate.
Unto the great associate.
Sattvatam.
Sattvatam.
Of the members of the Yadu dynasty.
Of the members of the Yadu dynasty.
Vidurakashthaya.
Vidurakashthaya.
One who is far from mundane wranglers.
One who is far from mundane wranglers.
Muhuhu.
Muhuhu.
Always.
Always.
Kuyoginam.
Kuyoginam.
Of the non-devotees.
Of the non-devotees.
Nirasta.
Nirasta.
Vanquished.
Vanquished.
Samya.
Samya.
Equal status.
Equal status.
Atishayena.
Atishayena.
By greatness.
By greatness.
Radhasa.
Radhasa.
By opulence.
By opulence.
Swadhamani.
Swadhamani.
In his own abode.
In his own abode.
Brahmani.
Brahmani.
In the spiritual sky.
In the spiritual sky.
Ramsyate.
Ramsyate.
Enjoys.
Enjoys.
Namaha.
Namaha.
I do bow down.
I do bow down.
Translation. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Who is the associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty.
Who is the associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty.
And who is always a problem for the non-devotees.
And who is always a problem for the non-devotees.
He is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and spiritual worlds.
He is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and spiritual worlds.
He enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky.
Yet he enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky.
There is no one equal to him.
There is no one equal to him.
Because his transcendental opulence is immeasurable.
Because his transcendental opulence is immeasurable.
Yep. So Prabhupada has written a lengthy purport to this. So let's just understand this purport before we discuss this. So this would be, just give me a second. It looks like I picked up the wrong chapter altogether. Yeah. So in the purport, Prabhupada is writing, there are two sides of the transcendental manifestations of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. For the pure devotees, he is the constant companion. As in the case of his becoming one of the family members of the Yadu dynasty, or his becoming the friend of Arjuna, or his becoming the associate neighbor of the inhabitants of Vrindavana as the son of Nanda Yashoda, the friend of Sudama, Sri Dhama, Madhu Mangala, or the lover of the damsels of Rajabhumi, etc. That is part of his personal features. And by his impersonal feature, he expands the rays of the Brahma Jyoti, which is limitless and all-pervasive. Part of this all-pervasive Brahma Jyoti, which is compared to the sun rays, is covered by the darkness of the Mahat Tattva. And this insignificant part is known as the material world. I remember probably a few months ago, His Holiness Rompat Swami Maharaj had come and he was talking about a particular topic, Lord Shiva. And in that, he was explaining there was a diagram that represented where the material universe actually exists. So within the Mahat Tattva, it is all-pervasive Brahma Jyoti, which is all of the light emanating from the Lord's body. There is a very small portion that is dark in color. That it's like the shadow side of things. And it's that small portion is where all of these material universes exist, the millions and trillions of material universes. That's what Prabhupada is explaining here. Primarily, Prabhupada is contrasting the difference between the Lord having personal association with his devotees. See, the Lord always wants the company of his devotees. So the Lord is always enjoying himself with his devotees in the various rasas that the devotees have for him. And then there is the impersonal side, which we talked about a couple of days ago, right? Brahmanandis versus the Premanandis. So the Premanandis are the ones who have personal relationships with the Lord. The Brahmanandis are not looking for a relationship. Through the process of Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, they are able to achieve this Brahma Jyoti platform. So part of this all-pervasive Brahma Jyoti, which is compared to the sun rays, is covered by the darkness of the Mahat Tattva. The Mahat Tattva is nothing but the sum total of all of the material elements that is used to create, maintain, and destroy this universe. And this insignificant part is known as the material world. In this material world, there are innumerable universes like the one we can experience. And in each of them, there are hundreds of thousands of planets like the one we are inhabiting. The mundaners are more or less captivated by the unlimited expansion of the rays of the Lord. But the devotees are concerned more with his personal form, from which everything is emanating, janmadhyasya yataha. As the sun rays are concentrated in the sun disk, the Brahma Jyoti is concentrated in Goloka Vrindavana, the topmost spiritual planet in the spiritual sky. So where is the sun ray most intensive? In the sun planet itself. But at the same time, the sun planet emanates so much brightness, light, and heat that it reaches very far off places like planet Earth. Similarly, Prabhupada is explaining the intensity of the Brahma Jyoti is where it's there in Goloka Vrindavan. But it is also spread all over the spiritual sky. And that is the goal of the impersonalists and the Brahmanandis. The immeasurable spiritual sky is full of spiritual planets, just like a portion of the Mahat Tattva is covered, it's there in darkness, and in that darkness is where all of the universes exist. Similarly, there is a spiritual sky, and in that spiritual sky, there are innumerable spiritual planets named Vaikunthas. So every spiritual planet is called a Vaikuntha. And there are millions and trillions of Vaikunthas. And these Vaikunthas are far beyond the material sky. The mundaners have insufficient information of even the mundane sky. So what can they think of the spiritual sky? Our knowledge of even of the material cosmos is so limited. Everything that we know is either through observation or through some kind of research. And then we send these giant space satellites all over into space, and we're trying our best to understand the moon, the sun, the earth, etc. But how much can we understand? Because we have limited time on this planet. So if we cannot understand our planet, we cannot understand the universe, we cannot understand in the Milky Way, Is it possible for a non-devotee to even fathom what the spiritual sky may be? That's what Prabhupada is asking. The mundaners have insufficient information of even the mundane sky. So what can they think of the spiritual sky? Therefore, the mundaners are always far, far away from him. So what is the problem here? Why are the mundaners far away from him? Even though the Lord exists as Paramatma within each one of us, for the mundaners, the Lord is very far away because they experience him more through his Shakti potency. They may be more in awe of what all is there in this universe, but they still do not understand the Creator. Even if in the future they are able to manufacture some machine whose speed may be accelerated to the velocity of the wind or mind, the mundaners will still be unable to imagine reaching the planets in the spiritual sky. And one of the purports in the Srimad Bhagavatam canto, it is said the entire cosmos is, the diameter is 9 billion miles. We cannot imagine 9 billion miles, how huge the cosmos is. And then there are 7 coverings around this huge cosmos. Each layer is 10 times the diameter of the cosmos, and the next layer is 10 times the breadth of the previous layer. So we just cannot imagine how huge this cosmos is. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying, even if in the future they are able to manufacture some machine whose speed may be accelerated to the velocity of the wind or the mind is considered to be faster than the wind. The mundaners will still be unable to imagine reaching the planets in the spiritual sky. So no machinery can take you to the spiritual world. So the Lord and his residential abode will always remain a myth or a mysterious problem. But for the devotees, the Lord will always be available as an associate. So the Lord is always hankering, as much as the devotees are hankering to serve the Lord is also hankering to be with his devotees. In the spiritual sky, his opulence is immeasurable. The Lord resides in all the spiritual planets, the innumerable Vaikuntha planets, by expanding his plenary portions along with his liberated devotee associates. But the impersonalists who want to merge in the existence of the Lord are allowed to merge as one of the spiritual sparks of the Brahma Jyoti. So, for the impersonalists and the Brahmanandis, what happens? After they have conquered their mind and senses, they become one of the spiritual sparks in the sum total of the Brahma Jyoti. They have no qualifications for becoming associates of the Lord, either in the Vaikuntha planets or in the supreme planet Goloka Vrindavanam, described in the Bhagavad Gita as Madhama, and here in this verse as the Swadhama of the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying, because they never endeavored to serve the Lord here, and that was never their desire. Their desire was something else. Their desire was to simply become one of the sparks in the Brahma Jyoti. And because they never had the desire to serve the Lord, Prabhupada says they will never qualify to actually enter the Vaikuntha planets or enter the highest of the spiritual planets, which is called Goloka Vrindavanam, simply because they never cultivate their desire to serve. This Madhama or Swadhama is described in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, shloka 6 as follows: Na tat bhasayate suryaha, na shashanko na pavakaha, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama. The Lord's Swadhama does not require any sunlight or moonlight or electricity for illumination. That Dhama or place is supreme, And whoever goes there never comes back to this material world. So once we enter the Vaikuntha planet, we will stay there forever. The Vaikuntha planets and the Goloka Vrindavana planet are all self-illuminating. And the rays scattered by those Swadhama of the Lord constitute the existence of the Brahma Jyoti. As further confirmed in the Vedas like the Mundaka Upanishad, the Katha Upanishad, and Shvetashvatara Upanishad, na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. In the Swadhama of the Lord, there is no need of sun, moon, or stars for illumination, nor is there need of electricity. So what to speak of ignited lamps? On the other hand, it is because those planets are self-illuminating that all effulgence has become possible. And whatever there is that is dazzling is due to the reflection of that Swadhama. One who is dazzled by the effulgence of the impersonal Brahma Jyoti cannot know the personal transcendence. Therefore, in the Ishopanishad, Shloka number 15, it is prayed that the Lord shift his dazzling effulgence so that the devotee can see the real reality. It is spoken thus. So this is the 15th Shloka of the Ishopanishad. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tatvam pushpuchan aparvranu satya dharmaya drishtaye. O Lord, you are the maintainer of everything, both material and spiritual, and everything flourishes by your mercy. Your devotional service or bhakti yoga is the actual principle of religion, Satya Dharma, and I am engaged in that service. So kindly protect me by showing your real face. Please therefore remove the veil of your Brahma Jyoti rays so that I can see your form of eternal bliss and knowledge. Actually, the Ishopanishad is not something that bhaktas study. However, Prabhupada chose the Ishopanishad to write detailed commentary from a bhakti yoga perspective to establish as a fact that even the impersonalists are requesting the Lord to remove his form so that they can see his form, to remove the covering. Because for them, they never had the rasa to serve the Lord. As we said, the Lord is always looking to be in the company of his devotees so that he can perform his leelas. Prabhupada always said that we are created for the enjoyment of the Lord. So you can just imagine if somebody creates something, we assume that it is our property because we have put in our efforts to create and bring that into production. So that means only the owner has the entitlement to enjoy what he has created. So similarly, only the Lord is entitled to enjoy everything that he has created because he is the owner of that property. And since we belong to the Lord, the best way to ensure that we are cooperating with the Lord so that he can enjoy us is to serve him. And by serving him, the owner of the property enjoys himself, and the property also enjoys their association with the Supreme Lord. So no one else can claim rights or ownership of us or anything that is ours. So even if devotees become very powerful, because the Lord has bequeathed them with some power, the devotees will always use that power in the service of the Lord. Whereas in the demoniac nature, what happens is that you want to compete with the Lord. You want to become as powerful as the Lord. And therefore, when you acquire the power, you do nothing but create disturbance for others. And that's when the Lord has to come to vanquish them. So the Lord is also helping the non-devotees by putting a stop to their nonsense ways. Similarly, the Lord is helping the devotees when they express their desire and love and affection for Him through service, then the Lord reciprocates with the devotees. So here you can see Sukadeva Goswami is recollecting that the Lord has come personally into the Yadu dynasty because they are filled with devotees. At the same time, the Lord has come to become an impediment for the non-devotees from continuing to do what they're doing that will lead to their own self-destruction. So, even though the material world is considered to be a place of punishment and reformation, like a jail cell, but here Sukadeva Goswami is saying, the Lord not only enjoys the material world, He is also the enjoyer of the spiritual world. And yet, He is there in His original planet, the Goloka Vrindavan, simultaneously enjoying there with His pure devotees. And in this way, we cannot understand how opulent and transcendental the Lord's opulence is. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying, my dear Lord, your opulence we cannot measure. So that's the essence of this particular shloka.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.